It is no secret that I am not the biggest fan of sports movies. According to Letterboxd, I have only seen 15 in total in my life, and my highest rated is Hot Rod starring Andy Samberg. So needless to say, my expectations for the new Amazon Video biopic for a shoe were not too high. Let's start with what I liked, because there was more than I thought there would be. The comedic dialogue was pretty great, and I laughed at a lot of the moments more than I would in an actual comedy these days. I really enjoyed Chris Messina's performance as Michael Jordan's agent. He easily had the funniest moment in the entire movie, and I could really buy into how strange and angry his character was. Jason Bateman was pretty great as well, and he gave one really impressive speech near the middle that really put his character into perspective with his divorced wife and daughter, who he only gets to see rarely, and when he does, he brings her Nikes. A sad but ultimately believable thing for the stereotypical divorced dad to do in an attempt to get their daughter to like them. I enjoyed the pacing as well. I think it flowed very well from scene to scene in the way that it never spent too long in one place, despite it only really taking place in like 3 or 4 different areas. I also enjoyed most of the characters for just how different they are from one another, with Matt Damon, the main character, being the straight man, and everyone around him being laughable at moments. Alright, so that was the good. Let's get to the bad, because there was a lot of it. First, who had the ridiculous idea to put a song in every new scene in the fucking movie? What kind of maniac production company would sign off on this idea? Oh, that tracks. Okay, I'm not gonna blame Amazon Video for every bad technical aspect of this movie, but jokes aside, I am. They were probably the same people who suggested we needed at least 10 close-ups per scene of Matt Damon's face. And yeah, this is mostly Ben Affleck's fault because he is the director, but whatever. Amazon is literally the devil, so I'm gonna blame them for everything that went bad with this movie. It was also very odd how Ben Affleck gave a performance that made Phil Knight look like an absolute imbecile, and then at the end, for no reason at all, they decided to say he donated $2 billion to charity. Oh, that's so nice. But why? Please, if you are gonna choose to make fun of someone, be consistent. Also, why the hell are we giving this guy a pat on the back for donating a very small amount of his insane amount of income when he's the same one who thought it was a stellar idea to open over 700 sweatshops for his company that really didn't need them? They even make a comment on that in the film, but then it's just never mentioned again. Haha, he thinks highly of himself in a dumb way. Let's all laugh at that. Why did they pass up the opportunity to have biting and witty humor about how much of an asshole this guy is, instead of just making the most surface level comments about how goofy he is as a person? Yeah, it's pretty obvious Amazon was not too keen on making these types of comments to one of their top online sellers. Instead, they made Nike look like the underdog heroes in this story, which is great. And maybe you'll want to buy some Nike official Air Jordan shoes after this movie, because there is nothing at all wrong with heavy consumerism in movies. Other than that, I don't really have any big glaring issues. Images of future events in some parts of the movie were annoying and out of place. I thought that the monologue Matt Damon gave halfway through the movie was really messy and inconclusive, and the fact that someone in the theater I was in clapped after it really paints a clear picture who is going out to see this movie. The majority of people who go to watch this movie, and almost any other patriotic sports film, are sports fans, not movie fans, which is probably why this movie seems to be getting such high praise right now. I'm definitely not hating on any sports fans or anything like that. I just think maybe do some consideration before you decide to go out and watch this movie if you are a fan of film and not just sports. This film wasn't terrible. It had a few great performances, some funny dialogue, and a steady pace, but overall, more than anything, this movie was just kind of annoying. It felt like they were really trying to market Air Jordans and Nike in general too. I'm really disappointed that Amazon Video is the production company for this movie, because I think without it, it could have been more than just an ad. But as it is, Amazon just doesn't want to be too offensive and definitely wants to sell you Nikes more than anything else. Overall, this was nothing great or even good in my opinion, but that is particularly because this movie really isn't my thing, and neither are any sports movies in my opinion. And I'm giving this 2-hour-long ad a 4 out of 10. Thank you for watching, and have a great rest of your day.